We welcome you today as the Wolverines take on the Harvard Crimson in second round field hockey action in the NCAA tournament. My name is Joshua Tenzer. I am joined here by Kendall Spencer. Kendall, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
And how do you think the Wolverines are going to look today? What do they have to do in order to get the Crimson to be going home at the end of the day?
Well, obviously, last game the Wolverines played really exciting one, scoring those 2 goals to win. Literally right at the end of the game. Sophie Southam had an amazing game with 2 goals of her own, and they did a phenomenal job on defense in that second half. They didn't allow a single shot on goal, so I think just kind of getting an earlier start is what we want to see. They went down early 2-0 in the first half. In this game, you want to kind of see getting some more effective shots on net early on, and just not letting Harvard put their shots up.
Well, Wolverines didn't allow a shot in the last 40 minutes of play, 42 minutes of play rather, and it really comes down to that defensive line that they have. Veen from the back has been phenomenal, and also Nino Pula running around playing midfield and blocking many, many passes. What advantages do the Harvard Crimson have, and what do they need to exploit in order to come home and make sure that Wolverines, the last top 4 seed left in the tournament, don't come back next weekend for the semifinals and the finals?
This is Harvard's second time making it this far into the NCAA championship, and they're also coming in on an 11-game win streak. So if anything, they have momentum. The Wolverines obviously had a phenomenal regular season. It did kind of get choppy at points towards the end with that loss in the Big Ten tournament, that loss against Maryland, and that loss against Iowa pretty close near the end of their season. So with them, it's sort of they have to keep finding that momentum, whereas Harvard has really been playing with it and have been on a roll.
They also had that loss at Penn State, making it 2 consecutive losses going into Big Ten tournament play. Rutgers and Iowa, both teams that have defeated the Wolverines. Iowa in regular season, Rutgers in Big Ten tournament play, the championship, have both been eliminated. Taking a look at the NCAA bracket quickly before we get underway. Upsets really all over this field. Liberty made it to the Final Four over Rutgers, and we actually get underway now. Harvard starting with the ball. They'll send it all the way back to the center defenseman, Bros. Bros sends it to the far side of the field. Harvard coming in from left to right. So their right wing is our near side. Their right wing is our far side. Wolverines the opposite, coming from right to left. Their left wing is our near side. Their right wing is our far side. Harvard sends a pass that goes sideways out of bounds towards the near side, allowing Emma Tamer to come and try to put it back into play. She'll send a pass out from the near side, try to get to the far side. Curves around, goes out of bounds. It'll be Harvard ball.
Harvard also had that sort of late game momentum as they won 1-0 in overtime in their last game. Both teams are hoping to get something started earlier on here than they did in their previous matchups.
Wolverines getting started just beyond the half line on the offensive side of things. On the far side, pass back to Veen. Veen will try to get it in towards the shooting circle, knocked away by the stick of a Harvard defender. Wolverines maintain control, pass back to Tamer, back over to Veen. Wolverines reverse possession, going from left side to right side. Trying to move forward is Hope. Pass blocked away. Wolverines can't break through into the offensive quarter of the field just quite yet. There's a stoppage in the play. Ball bounced off the shin of a Wolverine. Harvard will have the ball.
Wolverines doing a pretty good job maintaining possession here so far, but that Harvard defense is not letting up.
There's quite a bit of precipitation today. The game, originally scheduled for 1 o'clock, moved back and back and back to delay, going back to 4 p.m. start time. Field hockey's played on a water-based turf. How does the precipitation affect the game?
Well, obviously, just in addition to it being very cold here in Ann Arbor today, having that, sort of extra, more slippery and sliding going on today could, some shots could go slower than they're intended. Some could kind of be missed on pretty heavily, obviously, and there's all the fact that it's very cold.
Wolverines break into the striking circle. Whistle is blown. It'll be Wolverine ball just outside the striking circle.
And also just like the, mentality of having your game be delayed by almost 3 hours due to the weather. Gotta, be prepared for anything. So it's good to finally have this game get started so they can get all their energy out now instead of continuously warming up.
Wolverines pass back to Veen. Veen sends it to the far side, into the far corner. Ball taken away by Harvard. Ref blows the whistle. Harvard will start back with it. Strong pass intended for Donahue. Donahue, the goal scorer in the overtime win against Louisville. Another long pass going down the far sideline, looking for Tarrant. Wolverines intercept. Reverse side from the far side to the near side. Looking for a pass from Pilar Oliveros. Just goes past the stick of Laura Clark, and it'll go out of bounds on the end line. Harvard will start with it. Pardon me, it rolls just into the sideline, about 5 yards in front of the end line. Harvard takes it forward. Trying to go through the legs of the defender is Murdoch of Harvard. Sends it back outside the sideline. Wolverines in the middle of their offensive quarter on the near side. Getting things started. Pass back to Tamer. Tamer has Veen behind her. She'll choose to pass back. Wolverines keep it still on the offensive half of the field. Long pass to Hope. Hope keeps it inside the sidelines. Moves and tries to get to the striking circle. Turns her back to the defenders. Moves into the striking circle. Knocked away by the Harvard defense. And another clear. Harvard getting things started with Donahue down the near side, far side. Wolverines catch up on defense. Donahue able to maintain the ball. Infraction called on Donahue. Wolverines start with it. Just on the half line. About 5 yards beyond the far sideline. Wolverines will pass back out to Veen. Veen tries to send it forward. Anderson has nowhere to go. Sends it back to Veen. Now over to the far side. Hope with it. Harvard defender comes up. Veen will pass down the sideline. Ball's bounced up into the air. D'Angelo can't control it. Infraction called on Harvard. D'Angelo will have the ball. She'll send it back to Hope. Hope goes back to Veen. Veen keeps it on the offensive side. Runs forward with a little bit. Tamer on the left. Tamer puts it into the corner. That pass goes just wide. Bit too far to the left. Unable to get to it is Oliveros. Rolls out of bounds. Harvard moved back into their own striking circle. Now pinned to the near corner. Long pass runs all the way down the sideline. That'll go out of bounds on the near side. No one touched it, so it'll be Wolverines' ball. Still in their defensive quarter. Tamer sends it back to on top of the penalty striking area.
This is the
Veen.
deepest into the Wolverines' offensive territory that the Harvard has been all game, and they don't have possession of the ball.
5 minutes into this game so far. No shots for either team. Score still 0-0. Long pass from Oliveros. Whistle is blown. Infraction called. It'll be Harvard ball. Harvard about 35 yards from the Wolverines' goal. Slow rolling pass intended for Tarrant. Wolverines intercept. Good defensive work there by Tamer. Tamer sends a cross pass. Falling down over it is Clark. Infraction called on Harvard again.
Obviously, it seems like the field hockey landscape in the NCAA has been a bit Big Ten heavy this year, but Harvard dominated the Ivy League circuit. They went 7-0 in their division play. Had a really, really phenomenal season, coming in ranked at 12.
Big Ten did have all 4 of the top seeds now remaining. Still 2 teams of the 3 that made to the Final Four are Big Ten, Northwestern, and Maryland, the sole non-Big Ten Liberty, after upsetting Rutgers in a shootout today in the earliest game. Wolverines have the ball. Tamer sends it over towards Veen. Veen playing much more toward the sideline than she usually does. Tamer taking that center back role now. Harvard wrestles the ball away from Veen. Long pass blocked by Pula. Harvard still maintains control. Surrounded by 2 defensemen is Tarrant. She'll pass backwards. Running up is Gukian. Gukian spins around. Warded off by Southam and Anderson. Harvard has to pass back, get things restarted. Anderson and Southam playing strong, forechecking. Rough pass for Harvard there, going from far side to near side. Bounces off the stick of Murdoch, rolls out of bounds. Wolverines will get things restarted about 30 yards from the Harvard goal. They'll choose to pass back onto the center line, sticking to the near side with Tamer. Sends over to Veen. Veen about 5 yards behind and cross the field. Forward pass to Pula. She'll send it to the sideline. Hope running down the far sideline, taking a look towards the striking circle. She'll have to pass into the corner. D'Angelo can't corral the pass. Harvard with the ball. Another infraction blown. Another stoppage. Harvard will have the ball. Still pinned to the far corner.
A lot of whistles in the game today so far.
Still no shots for either team. Apula blocks the pass. She's called on infraction, though. Used her body to. Harvard will send back. Harvard streaking down the center. Trying to corral the puck is Pierce. Pierce gets past 2 defenders, splits the defense, but she's met by a couple more. She'll choose to pass back. Harvard resets back in their striking circle. Sent over to the near side with Murdoch. Murdoch passes forward. Short pass to Greenwood. Greenwood goes forward, tripped up on the play is Laura Clark. That'll be a foul. Wolverines have the ball. Stuck on the near side. Long arching pass. You're not allowed to send the ball too high with the intent of that right after a foul. So after that, it'll be Harvard ball. Harvard will pass back. They like to send it backwards, get things restarted, try to look for a set play. Long arching pass, almost in alone against the goalie, against Speaker, was number 14, Lucy Leal. Leal just missed it. Rolls out of the end line. Tough look for the defense there. Veen and Tamer allowed Leal to get back. Leal just coming in for Tarrant.
The Wolverines are normally really good at containing those types of fast break type of plays, but that's also due to a lot of the heavy work of their midfield. Specifically, Nina Apula is phenomenal at preventing the other team from being able to switch over to the offensive side.
Tamer pinned back by Leal. She'll pass back to Veen. Veen tries to reverse field to the far side. Hope sends it back to Veen inside the striking circle. She'll cross the crease over to Tamer. Tamer just misses her passes near side again. Harvard will have the ball on top of the 23-meter line. Rolls forward into the corner. Unable to corral the puck is Guckian. The ball. Wrong kind of hockey. And it'll be Wolverine ball still pinned into that near corner. Wolverines will pass to Veen. Veen about 5 yards in front of Speaker. Send it across to Apula. Apula gets out of the defensive quarter. Pass back into Veen on top of the striking circle. Over to Tamer. Wolverines saw that the Harvard defense was too tight on the far side. They'll try near side now.
Harvard has done a really good job playing a really tight defensive setting. They're more man than zone, really on players, specifically Sophie Southland. They're not going to give her any space in today's game, especially after the Wolverines' last one. With that win, her scoring 2 of those 3 goals, including the very last one to win the game for the Wolverines.
That was an exciting goal, 2.3 seconds left in the game.
Goal.
Southam tried to get the ball back, whistle blown on her. Harvard will get things started. 2 sticks collide. It's never a nice feeling, especially in the cold.
In regards to that goal, she is the player the Wolverines need to step up in those moments, and she did. It was phenomenal.
After a couple substitutions, Catherine Peterson, injured in between the end of the regular season and the start of the Big Ten play. She's made her first appearance here. Harvard tries to break into the striking circle. Wolverines able to clear the ball away, though. Running out with it is Tamer. Tamer gets the ball out of trouble. Passes forward, looking for Abby Tamer, her sister. Abby sends it down the sideline. Another pass by Emma Tamer almost goes out of bounds. She's been missing passes close side a couple times. Wolverines lose control of the ball on the far side. Long chip pass by Harvard. Lands in between 2 Harvard players. Able to take the ball away is Hallie O'Neill. O'Neill passes back to Emma Tamer. Sends it back to Veen in the defensive quarter. Veen moves it over to the far side. Unable to corral the pass, Wolverines are. Harvard breaks down the far side. Keeping up with it is Rosie Hope. She'll take the ball away from Harvard, keep it for the Wolverines, sends it forward for Apula. Apula runs forward. Ball knocked away, goes out of bounds. It'll be not quite. Whistle is blown for an infraction. Wolverines getting set on the far side. Hope with it. Hope chips it up. Lands pretty much in front of the center line. Knocked down by Harvard defense. Southam can't get to it. Harvard coming down the near side. Knocked into the striking circle. Collision between 2 players. That would be Veen and can't quite tell who it is for Harvard. No whistle called on the play. Veen will have the ball.
Definitely been more of a back and forth game. Both teams and both defenses especially doing a really good job of containing each other in the offensive zone. Obviously no shots in this game so far, but aren't even really any really good chances. Either, break passes that have just barely missed the player or just, kind of offensive setups that fall apart once the defense gets in on them.
Closest chance so far was that long stretch pass for Leal, where she got past the Wolverines defense. Nothing happened there, though. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. No shots for either team, no goals for either team as well. Wolverines have to reset, sending it backwards towards Veen. Veen sends it to Hope. Hope has to take a couple minutes to corral the ball and Harvard steals it away from her. Applying pressure is Abby Tamer. Wolverines send a couple defensemen out for the Harvard player with the ball, Allen. Allen able to get away. She'll send a slow rolling pass. Wolverines able to cut that. And then Wolverines will pass forwards, knocked away by Harvard. Wolverines rushing forwards with the ball. Long pass. Found Pirtek. Pirtek loses the ball away. Harvard mitigates the offensive opportunity for the Wolverines. Harvard now streaking down the center of the field. One last pass, cut away by the Wolverines. Good defensive work there by Hope. Hope looks for Southam, ball just out of reach. It'll roll out of bounds just at the sideline, about 2 yards in front of the back line.
Something that could be the effect of the, kind of snowy, rainy weather that we're having is a lot of passes on both sides of the field are not connecting in the way that these teams need them to.
Well, there are certainly a lot less shots than Harvard's last game. Wolverines have a chance here. Whistle's blown. It looks like, not entirely sure what happened there, but Wolverines may have taken the foul from the wrong spot. There was going to be a fast break there for the Wolverines breaking in towards the goal.
Really unfortunate time for there to be a call.
Abby Tamer was the one breaking in. Knocked away. Wolverines have to be reset by the referees. Peterson knocks into the striking circle. Abby Tamer plays the ball. Appears to be. Harvard had an infraction.
There was also some confusion about whether or not it went out there.
Wolverines pass back. They have the ball. Long pass looking for Hope. Misses. Rolls out just past the corner pylon.
Really unfortunate call again. The Wolverines were in prime opportunity to set something up there. All in, pretty much alone at the top of the semicircle. But unfortunately, aren't able to capitalize.
Less than 30 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Shot still 0-0. And Harvard had a 0-0 game going into the end of regulation against Louisville. Able to win that. Harvard making a fast break down the far side. 2 Wolverines defenders able to corral the puck away. Ball taken away by Tamer. Whistle blown. Now 10 seconds left. Wolverines will have the ball. See if they choose to do anything with it. Hope, long pass. Pula knocks it away. Wolverines cough it up to Harvard. And running towards the near sideline is Guckian. That'll be the end of the quarter. We will join you at the end of the break, unless there's anything you'd like to say.
Just that both teams were, doing the best that they could. Now they have the time. They've been able to adjust to this weather and what that means for them playing in this game, especially with those passes. And you could see that they were doing a lot better and making short passes that they had more control over than the kind of long arcing ones that weren't really working in the.
Well, at the end of the first period, we have zeros on the scoreline. Shots, goals, shots on goal, saves, fouls, corners, offsides. Just a lot of back and forth play. We will be with you in about, let's call it 60 seconds. All right, after a short break, we are back. Welcome, if you're just joining us, to the 0-0 game. Wolverines hosting Harvard in a neutral site game at Ocker Field in the second round of the NCAA tournament. My name is Joshua Tenzer. I am joined here by Kendall Spencer. Kendall, you said you want to talk a little about Ellie Szabo, the Harvard goalie.
Yeah, something that the Wolverines are going to have to work really hard at in this game is breaking Ellie Szabo, the Harvard goaltender. She had an absolutely phenomenal season. In her 15 games, she allowed 6 goals, making 38 saves and 6.4 save percentage, getting 14 wins and only 1 loss there, averaging about .38 goals a game. That's phenomenal. And the part of that is that Harvard only allows about 5.5 shots on average per game. So they aren't making things exactly hard for her. When, they do let one go, she has been pretty much lights out all season.
Trent will start for Harvard at the center line. She'll pass back. Harvard will try to get things started. The Crimson on the near side. Breaking down is Guckian. Long rolling pass. Misses the target. Intended for Lucy Leal. Goes past the end line. Emma Tamer will have the ball for the Wolverines after inbounding it. She'll send it back towards Veen. A little bit off target pass again. Veen sends it forwards. Wolverines on the far side. Anderson spins around in the middle of that near side quarter of the field. Wolverines will have to pass back to Veen, get things restarted, trying to move over onto the near side. Tamer sends it forward for Oliveros. Ball taken away from Oliveros. Racing down is Greenwood. She'll pass towards the center. Speaker might have to do something here. Ball taken away by Veen. Good defense there. Passed out towards Southam. Southam tries to keep it in bounds. She does, but she coughs up the ball. Murdoch with it. Whistle's blown. It'll be Harvard ball from about 30 yards out and about 10 yards away from the near sideline. Murdoch will start with the ball.
Really scary moment for the Wolverines there. Luckily, Anouk Veen was able to get it and get that ball knocked away, because otherwise that was going to be a one-on-one against Speaker.
Here could be another one. Pass towards the near sideline. Rolls out of bounds on the side. Wolverines will take it. Trying to send it forward is Tamer. Rolls out of bounds. Ball's got some curve to it. Trying to inbound it is number 8 on Harvard, Greenwood. Wolverines able to cut the pass, but a foul called. Greenwood with the ball, sending it towards the striking circle, knocked away by Hallie O'Neill. Wolverines still can't get it outside the defensive quarter. Cross pass looking for Donahue after it was tipped by Apula. It makes it to Donahue. Harvard plays the ball with the hand inside the striking circle, mitigating their opportunity. 13 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Still 0 shots for either team, although Harvard has looked like the more dangerous team so far.
The Wolverines are very excited to have that pressure be let up. Scary moment. Harvard was just really pushing in, doing a really good job of maintaining pressure, getting the ball around, and just not allowing their passes to be broken up, which we've seen. And there's another really good example.
Hope passes back to Tamer. Tamer sends it. Another inaccurate pass. Harvard inside the striking circle, knocked away. Just outside the striking circle now. Wolverines have it. Try to clear. We'll see if they do. They'll pass back to Tamer. Tamer pinned into the near corner by the forecheck of Harvard. Lifted pass by Oliveros. Comes down the far sideline. That'll roll. Stay inbounds. Rushing for it is D'Angelo. She may not get to it in time. Harvard gets to it first. Harvard pinned into their near corner, trying to send it back down the sideline. Their right wing. Spinning around the defender is Greenwood. Fancy footwork there. A roll out of bounds off of a Wolverine stick. Murdoch with the ball.
It's a really phenomenal job of getting the ball out of their own defensive zone, but unfortunately for the Wolverines, it came back pretty much almost immediately.
Murdoch runs with it, just in bounds. She'll try to pass down the sideline. That'll come out. Emma Tamer will start with it in the defensive quarter for the Wolverines. Sends it back to Veen inside the striking circle. Veen moves forward. Out for Apula. Apula finds 4 defensemen in front of her. She'll run back. Tries to send it to Hope on the far side. Back to Veen. Wolverines try to draw all of the Harvard players towards the far side, then reverse field to the near side, get things going. Harvard's able to counteract that, come back down hard on the players, on Oliveros.
The Wolverines are really struggling on breaking out of their own defensive zone so far in this second quarter, both in combination with just them not being able to connect with each other, and also Harvard doing a really good job pushing in.
There's going to be a card on Southam. She played the ball after it was Harvard's ball after a foul. Sophia Southam with the card. It's a green card. That means 2 minutes of a disadvantage for the Wolverines. She'll be released at 9:09. The time currently is 10:56. Wolverines have the ball, but now with one player out, with a man advantage, Harvard may press forwards again.
Wolverines need to prevent them from getting in like they've been doing so well in here in the second quarter. If anything, they just got to keep sending those passes back, making Harvard chase them, and just not letting them set anything up here, which they've done. They're doing pretty well so far.
There's a cut pass, as you say, that Wolverines breaking down. Apula coming towards the near corner. She'll pass into the striking circle. That was looking for Clark, knocked away by Harvard defense. Wolverines will have the ball at the top of the 23-meter line. They'll kill some time. Clock keeps ticking even after stoppages. Now just 1 minute remaining in the green card penalty served by Southam. Southam, one of the strongest shots on the Wolverine, averaging over a goal per game in all of their games so far. And with her out, when you have an offensive break, there's something missing there.
The Wolverines wanted to set something up there, but once again, without Southam, they're going to kind of miss that spark, and as we can see, that offensive play fell apart, and now they're back on the defensive side, and Harvard is breaking out with those passes that they've really figured out how to connect on.
30 seconds remaining in the penalty served by Southam. Apula able to take the ball away. She'll move it forward for Clark. O'Neal. O'Neal races down the center of the field, trying to get into the offensive quarter, knocked away by the defensive Harvard. Clark swings her stick into the shin. Be another card after swinging the stick into the shin. It'll be a slash sort of deal. And coming out is O'Neal. The next 19 seconds are going to be Wolverines with a 2-man disadvantage. Harvard has to act quickly if they want to capitalize on it.
Wolverines need to contain, and luckily Harvard messes up there, and the pool is going to be able to take that out.
Missed pass, unable to corral it is Harvard. Apula takes it forward. Pushed into the near corner. Clark looking for it. Clark tries to move into the striking circle. Say it bounces off her hand. It'll be Harvard ball at the top of the 23-meter line, or just behind the 23-meter line.
Luckily, though, Sophia Southam is back in this game, so it's down to only 1-man disadvantage again for the Wolverines.
That second penalty taken by Hallie O'Neal. She'll be released at 7:28. The time currently is 8:45. Score is still 0-0. Still 0 shots taken by either team. Harvard tries to move forward. Unable to corral the puck is Megan Joel. Wolverines push forward. Southam with the ball. Defense swarms her. She'll move it back to Veen. Veen to the far side with Hope. Hope tries to do a long, hard pass down the sideline. She'll send it out of bounds, though. Harvard moving quickly. They're inside the offensive quarter of the field now. Trying to pass in towards the striking circle. Guckian has the ball. Guckian moves in. Strong defense played by Southam.
This second quarter has been all Harvard's in terms of momentum. The Wolverines are just really lucky they haven't really been able to capitalize on it, besides for that almost one-on-one from Speaker before a really good defensive play by Veen.
Hope moves forward. Catherine Peterson back in. Her first action since the beginning of the Big Ten tournament. She coughs it up. Harvard has numbers now moving into the striking circle at the top of the key. Wolverines able to knock the ball out. Good defensive play there by Southam. Apula rushing for it now. She'll have the ball. She'll move backwards, try to kill some more time. 10 seconds remaining in the O'Neal penalty. Wolverines send it down the far sideline. The ball will roll inbounds and back out of bounds. Some curve on that one.
Something Harvard has done really well is they'll condense their game once they get into the offensive zone, and it's almost so unnoticeable if you're the Wolverines defense until all of a sudden there's about 5 of them in the semicircle at once, and you realize you don't have the numbers to cover them.
Bad pass there by Greenwood, taken away by Southam. Wolverines don't have the numbers as they try to enter the offensive half of the field. Ball lost off the Southam stick. Harvard has the ball. They'll try to reset things, try to get the momentum back. Wolverines cut a pass. Rushing into the offensive half was O'Neal. She'll pass back to Apula. Apula sends it all the way back to Veen at the Wolverines' defensive 23-meter line, center of the field. She'll send it forwards. Looks for Catherine Peterson. Peterson, a chip pass. Bit off target. It was going to be a leading pass for Apula, taken away by Harvard.
The Wolverines haven't been able to match Harvard in those breakaways, really, here in this second quarter, where it's really become a problem.
Harvard has shown that they are quite a second-half team, outscoring their opponents 30-3 in the second half and overtime. They'll be quite happy to take this 0-0 going into that final 30 minutes. 6 minutes now remain in the second quarter. Wolverines make a couple bad passes. They'll roll outside the back line. Harvard will have things in their defensive quarter on the far side.
The Wolverines on the defensive side have done a really good job at sort of jumping in and breaking up Harvard's passes, but they can't really get that going when they're on their own offensive side to, kind of get like a quick turnover, fast break type situation.
Southam rushes in towards the striking circle. She's pulled away by the defense. She'll have to pass back to Peterson. Peterson at the top of the arc. Moves it over for Apula. Apula spins around past 2 defenders. Knocks in towards the striking circle. Peterson gets the ball back from Harvard. Moves into the striking circle. Well, Harvard has it, and they'll mitigate the danger by rolling it out of the striking circle into the far near corner.
That was an incredible play by Apula. She is so fun to watch because she is so creative and so talented in that, why she's a midfielder in the middle of the field. She's phenomenal on both sides in this area, both pushing it forward on offense and preventing any defensive breaks.
Harvard has the numbers now after a long pass. Final pass getting into the striking circle, taken away by Tamer. Not only is Apula creative, she's also quite speedy.
She's very fast.
Tran with the ball now for the Wolverines. Slowly crawling her way up the near sideline. She'll have to pass back to Tamer. The defense from Kaylee Allen just too strong. Clark with the ball. O'Neal, rather, sends it back to Veen. Veen inside the defensive striking circle. She'll move it to the far side, just past the 23-meter line. Wolverines send it up the sideline. KP will take it over towards the center.
They need to just have a consistent offensive break here. They can't get almost in and then lose it like they've been doing so many times.
And just now, again, that final pass from Tran. She's going in towards the striking circle. Knocked off of 2 Harvard sticks. Harvard send it down the sideline. Long pass from Hannah Pierce. That'll roll out of bounds. Whistle blown. Green card on Keely Allen. Wolverines with the man advantage now. Her release time will be 2:24.
This would be a great time to get something set up here. Maybe look for Sophie Southam on the inside.
Tran comes off. Coming back on is Anderson. Anderson with the game-tying goal. 61 seconds left into the game on Friday against Miami. Tamer just whips on the pass, trying to do a one-timer after pass comes across from Veen. Harvard now rushing down. Harvard has numbers on the backside. You have number 14, Lucy Leal. The pass out towards Leal, kicked away by Anna Speaker, coming very far out of her goal, about 18 yards from her goal. Veen steals the ball away. She'll try to clear it. Harvard keeps the pressure on, though. Long pass to Pierce. Pierce trying to move into the offensive quarter. Harvard still has the ball. 3.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Shots still 0-0. Goals still 0-0.
Another player who's having a phenomenal game is Anouk Veen on the defensive side. Anytime Harvard gets a little too close or they're seeming like they're going to have a one-on-one opportunity, she's always been there in the right time, in the right spot. She's reading those plays really well, and she's always able to get her stick in there and break it up.
How about that play from Speaker? You're the hockey mind. You see.
Oh, for sure. That was really aggressive play by her, but it worked really well.
Harvard has things in the center line. Rushing forward on forechecking duty is Sarah Pertek. She'll try to pressure the Harvard. They'll send it backwards, keep it away from danger. And a long bouncing pass intended for Avery Donahue. It'll bounce off her stick, off her shin, and out of bounds. Tamer sends it back towards Veen. Veen on top of the penalty spot. She'll move it over to the far side with Hope. Hope just past the 23-meter line. Trying to get a long pass looking for KP. Catherine Peterson just in the offensive half. Ball rolls out of bounds off of a Harvard stick. Ball bounces off a stick. Long pass from Catherine Peterson. Looked like it went up high on one of the Wolverines players. Seems to be okay, though. Apula with the ball after the foul call.
I think it hit off the stick.
Pass back for Veen. Veen on the far side. She'll send it over to Tamer. Tamer moves it into the offensive quarter. Anderson. Anderson tries to pass into the striking circle, knocked away by 2 Harvard defenders. Donahue's been everywhere on the field so far. Donahue gets the ball stolen away by Anderson. Anderson with speed breaks towards the center. About to fall over herself. She'll pass back towards O'Neal. O'Neal sends it to the far side with Hope. Hope tries to get into the corner. Unable to get to it first is D'Angelo. Harvard ball. Pardon me, that's not D'Angelo. That appears to be Pertek. Anderson fighting for the ball still, keeping it close for the Wolverines. Foul called on Harvard. Wolverines trying to break into the striking circle down the center after a bouncing pass from O'Neal. Infraction called on the Wolverines, mitigating the chance. 80 seconds remaining in the first half. Shots still 0-0. Arching pass tipped away by the Wolverines. Wolverines have a chance now. They might have numbers after the foul called. Anderson with the ball towards the top of the shooting circle. Spinning around is Southam. Southam unable to corral the ball. She's not able to pass in towards the striking circle. She'll run with it forward. Chance for the Wolverines goes up in, and it will be a penalty corner for the Wolverines. And you can hear in the media box people excited for there finally being a stat. It'll be the first corner for the Wolverines. The first thing to go away from the zeros. Wolverines only converted 2 for 16 on them
This
back
is a
in
place where
Miami.
they really felt Catherine Peterson's loss coming into the playoffs. She is phenomenal at that insert position. And, clearly there with only, 2 out of 16, it's really good to have her back in this game as she will take this corner and take the insert.
Peterson on the insert from the near side. Wolverines will have, it appears to be all 7 on the perimeter of the striking circle. In the centers, Anderson and Veen. Sometimes Anderson will settle it. Veen being a defenseman. She still has a strong shot, though. Wolverines have Apula on the right side.
This is a great...
And Abby Tamer on the left. Ball goes out for Southam. Southam with a strong shot. That goes just wide. Looks like it hit some obstruction traffic in front. Rolls out of bounds. But also a first shot for the Wolverines. 43 seconds remaining. Bounced off a Harvard second one outside the back line, so Emma Tamer will start with it.
That was a laser of a shot from Southam.
Very similar to the one she scored that went up top right. This one going for top left.
Chabot is lucky that it wasn't on net because I don't want to be standing in front of that.
Absolutely not, even with all the goalie gear
no,
you got.
Not for sure.
Wolverines try to get into the striking circle. There's a bouncing ball up into the center. Bounced off of Abby Tamer's body. 14 seconds left. It'll be Harvard ball. They'll get things restarted. And it may look like they'll just move slowly with 10 seconds remaining. Not take any risks. Not allow Wolverines to forecheck too much. And that's what they'll do. Long pass down the sideline, pretty much towards no one. Cut by Catherine Peterson, but she's unable to corral it in time. That'll be the halftime buzzer. What are the highlights to you so far?
Well, obviously, the first quarter, kind of a nothing for either team. I'm going to highlight some players specifically. Anouk Veen, incredible at the beginning of that second quarter. Harvard really had a lot of offensive pressure, and she handled it all phenomenally. Didn't let them get anything set up, was always there to break something up. And then definitely the momentum shift at the end of that second quarter. Hopefully the Wolverines are able to bring that back at the beginning of the second half. But, kind of things just shifted a little bit. They were more aggressive on that offensive side. They were able to push the ball in more and finally get stuff set up enough like that they could get a corner because they'd been struggling through the first part of that game with getting things set up on the offensive side.
Who on the Crimson has really caught your eye?
Well, besides for the fact that, they're doing a phenomenal job. Avery Donahue, who is the game-winning scorer for the Crimson in their first game in this tournament, is doing a really good job on both sides. She's sending balls back up. She's doing a really good job in the breakout, and she's doing phenomenal on defense as well.
Well, it's never going to hurt to remind people who are listening now, if they like what they're hearing, they can tune in Monday through Thursday, 6 to 6:30 for the daily sports reports, where WCBN broadcasters just kind of talk sports. That is from 6 to 6:30 Monday through Thursday. If you're in the Ann Arbor area, you can tune your FM dial to 88.3, and if you are not, you can go to WCBN.org. WCBN Sports also on this YouTube channel and the partner YouTube channel, WCBN Sports 2, broadcasts almost every University of Michigan home game for team sports. So we'll be back in about, let's call it 7 minutes. Don't change that radio channel. We're on YouTube. Don't close the window. we are back with you for second half action. The University of Michigan Wolverines playing the home team in a neutral site game against the Harvard Crimson in field hockey here at Ocker Field. It is a score of 0-0. My name is Joshua Tenzer. I am joined here by Kendall Spencer. Kendall, what were your takeaways from the first half? A relatively quiet first half.
Well, it was really just a whole lot of back and forth for the entire first quarter. Neither team really getting a chance to even have a shot on goal. Mostly just kind of this sort of weird middle field back and forth where they're just kind of not setting anything up. Second, it got a lot more interesting for both teams. Harvard had that really early on offensive pressure in that second quarter. They able to have some really good chances, including a really phenomenal diving, kind of sliding save by Speaker. That was incredible. But then towards the end of that second quarter, the momentum shifted. The Wolverines were able to get out, get some chances. They had a corner, they had a shot. Hopefully they still have that momentum and they're able to bring it here into the second half.
Well, there's plenty of interesting things going on around the NCAA field hockey tournament. Rutgers, number 1 seed, who defeated the Wolverines in the Big Ten Championship. They lost 3-2 in a shootout to Liberty. Maryland defeated Syracuse, who upset Penn State, and to make it in against Liberty in the Final Four. And Northwestern, after beating UNC, reigning tournament champions UNC, moved on and defeated Iowa 1-0 in regulation. Now the last spot of the Final Four is up for grabs in this 0-0 game late in the day at Ocker Field.
Obviously, there's a chance for there to be pretty much a Big Ten domination. I mean, there will be either way, but with the possibility of sending 3 teams into that Final Four proves that, this is definitely a game that's branched out, not just being like a East Coast prep school type of game anymore.
Pardon me. Hope breaks in towards the shooting circle. Apula takes the ball away from her, tries to get a cross in towards Southam, cut by Harvard. Harvard will try to clear it, bounces off of Apula's stick, rolls out past the end line. Harvard mitigates the chance.
I really enjoy seeing that from the Wolverines because that's something they definitely struggled with in that, first half with getting things set up and getting consistent chances, and now they have consistent chances.
Harvard pinned to their own defensive striking circle, tries to get it into the far corner. They do. It appears that precipitation may start coming down soon.
There is a chance of their weather did say that there was a chance of there being some slight snow showers later on into the afternoon here.
Looks like something may be starting to fall now. Wolverines try to get to the striking circle. Laura Clark with it. Moves in from left to right. Whistle blown. Infraction on Laura Clark. Harvard has the ball just outside their striking circle, inside the dashed semicircle.
Both teams have already been forced to kind of adapt to the inclement weather so far, but if there is more snow, that does certainly add a bit more of an interesting mix.
Southam playing very tight forechecking defense, moving in on Greenwood. Greenwood able to get the ball away. Harvard tries to move it down the far sideline, their left wing. They have switched sides of the field now. Ball comes out for Peterson. Peterson tries to get it in. Doesn't get everything she wants on the pass. Harvard breaking down the center now, moving towards the left side. Donahue, the goal scorer from the last game, tries to get one more pass. Moving in. Wolverines come in. And there'll be a review. Speaker comes out of the goal, tries to block it away. We'll see what happens now. Just going to go to a review. And that review would be looking for.
That's something that the Wolverines have struggled with in this game, are those fast break opportunities that they're letting Harvard have.
We'll find out what might be happening. I'm hesitant to say it'll be a penalty stroke, but the way Harvard reacted from the bench, it may be that.
The Harvard bench, and then the reaction from the Harvard crowd did seem like it might be leaning towards that.
We'll let you know as soon as we know more. Wolverines have had a pretty impressive weekend this far across all of sports. Men's basketball win, women's basketball win, volleyball split their weekend series, beating Rutgers and keeping it close with Penn State. Penn State, one of the better teams in the Big Ten. Football, big win over Penn State as well. Ice hockey, 2 wins over Penn State. Maddie Beniers and Luke Hughes really becoming stars this team.
Really strong games from them.
Luke Hughes, the New Jersey Devils prospect, soon to play with his brother Jack in the Bigs.
And then also, obviously we've already clearly we are talking about Michigan field hockey as we are at the field hockey game, but then
Yes.
also here in the tournament. It's a really good, it's not to use the cliche, but it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine right now, especially if you're a sports fan.
That is the phrase, ain't it?
And not just for the big, what people consider the big time sports. It really, in all sports, it's a pretty exciting time.
Harvard keeping warm, running around in the center of the field. They're cheering. We're waiting to tell you what happens now. We're figuring it out.
The reaction from the Harvard fans.
Wolverines not masking up.
Looking
and
pretty
putting on
excited.
Wolverines aren't looking like they're going to go into the goal for a corner. We'll see what happens. Also, Michigan Athletics, the wrestling team, I believe the men's wrestling team, that is the only wrestling team? I don't know much more about Michigan
Yes.
wrestling. They played today, and what they did was win 39-3 versus CSU Bakersfield.
Yeah, women's wrestling has not really broken into the Power 5 conferences yet. Believe that there is only one team, and that is Iowa. But it's a growing sport, just like
So is women's hockey.
just
Wisconsin
like
and
women's
Notre
hockey.
Dame
So
having a couple of great teams. Wolverines still need to break into that. 12 and a half minutes remain in the third quarter. It's been quite a lengthy video review. The game on Friday was plagued with video reviews taking plenty of time. Wolverines kept on doing video review challenges that continued to go Wolverines' way. Therefore, they kept being able to keep their challenge.
I feel like that isn't really so much field hockey specific, though. I think since review has dominated sports in the way it has, that every sport is being taken over by reviews.
The call on the field, whatever it was, had been overturned. It'll be Wolverine ball.
Wolverines are celebrating there.
All we know is the call on the field was overturned. We don't know what the call was. But either way, Anouk Veen will start at the top of the striking circle on the defensive side for the Wolverines, moving it over to the far side. Tamer tries to push it forwards for Catherine Peterson. Peterson getting extended playing time after the first half. She's warmed herself back into this game. Ball rolls out of bounds off of Peterson's stick. Harvard tries to break into the striking circle. Apula cuts the pass, tries to get it out. Clear attempt fails, bounces off the arm of number 13, Sienna Horton, for the Crimson.
It's good to see Peterson healthy and having a strong impact in this game.
She has been missed by this team, especially with the 16 corners they had against Miami. Wolverines trying to move forward on the near side. The pass for Apula from Hope just misses.
Both teams in their previous matchups in this tournament had really shot-heavy games, and that could not be a different type of game being played here.
Sienna Horton falls down on the pass. Slips. The conditions on the field, as you mentioned, a little tougher to play in. Again, it is currently snowing. It's beginning to look a lot like wintertime.
Both teams have done a pretty good job adapting to it, but obviously there are going to be those times, especially now that, as you mentioned, it is actively snowing again.
Hope tried to send a far chip pass looking for Southam. Didn't even get half the distance she wanted on it. Harvard breaks into the striking circle and on the far side. Moving in. Blocked away by Speaker. Veen has to clear it away. And she's tripped up on the play. That was actually O'Neal. Harvard keeps it away. Now Michigan keeps it away. Harvard now with 2 shots in the quarter so far. And Wolverines not able to get far away from their defensive quarter. Keep missing passes rolling down the sideline.
That was a really good save by Speaker.
She's made quite a few.
Definitely having a sort of an aggressive gameplay today. But I would say it's absolutely paying off for her, at least so far.
Harvard passes into the near corner. Try to go cross crease. Ball rolls away. Infraction called on the Wolverines. Harvard still pinned into that corner. They'll start with the ball. Harvard will dribble. Try to get it forwards. Looking for a pass back. Knocked away by Southam. Southam's play will make it go out of bounds. Just beyond the 23-meter line on the near side. Harvard breaks towards the striking circle. Knocked away from Apula. Apula making a fast break down the center. She's got Laura Clark far ahead of her, and that pass looking for D'Angelo over on the near far side just misses.
And she doesn't normally miss those passes. As I've mentioned before, her passes are one of the best parts about her game. So you can clearly see the weather is having an impact.
Passing actually down all around the field for both teams.
They were kind of figuring it out towards that second quarter, stopping making those kind of long arcing passes and sticking to the short ones. But we're seeing problems even with those short passes again.
That'll be a green card, as we were talking, on Nina Apula. They're going to miss her speed, miss her defensive ability, blocking out the passes. 7:41 release. That's a 2-minute penalty served. Wolverines' third green card of the day. Wolverines try to break down the far side. Not able to make any passes. They'll just keep pushing it down. Break past the center line. Laura Clark with it.
The Wolverines have done a really good job of getting in the lanes and breaking up those Harvard passes.
Anderson, surrounded by a swarm of 5 Crimson defensemen, tries to dive to keep the play alive. Unsuccessful, taken away by Keely Allen. Allen sends it back inside the center of the defensive half for Guckian. Guckian moves across far side. Snow starting to come down a little more heavy now. Wolverines knock the ball away from the striking circle after an approach pass by Harvard. Foul called on Harvard.
You can see it, there was a player just tried to plant her foot. And you can see the sort of slip from the weather.
Wolverines coming down. They don't have the numbers. It's only a 2-on-4 for the Wolverines, but breaking in is D'Angelo, trying to get towards the striking circle. She'll move sideways, looking for Oliveros. Tip of the stick, knocks the ball away from a Harvard defenseman. Able to get it away. Rolls out of bounds. Oliveros in the middle of the offensive quarter, pinned to the sideline. She'll move forward, tries to get towards Anderson, 2 defensemen from Harvard, able to keep it away. Oliveros moves forward, breaks towards the striking circle, knocked away by the defense. Hope with the ball at the dashed line. She'll move forward slowly. Looking for a passing option. She'll move it back towards Oliveros, still inside the offensive quarter. Passes back to Veen. Defense was getting too tight, too much pressure on her. She'll move it back, try to get things restarted on the far side of the field. Ball looking for Southam, just past her stick. Harvard sends a long forward pass. Knocked away by the stick of a defenseman on the Wolverines. Rolls out of bounds sideways on the far side. Harvard playing a lot more with the long passing game. Trying to counter. And Apula comes right back in. 2-minute penalty killed by the Wolverines. They're now 3 for 3 on the green card kills, including a short stint where they were 2 down.
Harvard, despite the fact that those long passes weren't working in the first quarter, they are returning to them, but you've been able to see the Wolverines have been getting in those lanes and stopping them, breaking them up really well.
Wolverines in the far corner, pinned there is Southam. Southam tries to spin around, bobbles the puck up in the air. Good athleticism there. She moves in towards the goal, knocked away. That'll be a foul on Southam. She had a chance there. She was able to bobble the ball, keeping it up in the air, keeping it within the end line. Runs past a couple defenders, but when it comes down, plays it with the foot.
Right, dribbling that on her stick, and you can see why Sophie Southam is one of the best players on this Wolverines team. Just very creative thinking.
D'Angelo comes out. Piertek comes in. Veen with the ball for the Wolverines in that third defensive quarter. Pass looking for Oliveros. Successful. Oliveros tries to move forward. Whistle blown. She gets into a little bit of a battle with Rachel Greenwood. Harvard ball coming out of it. Wolverines move forward after cutting the pass away. They're just at the center line now. Apula on the far side. She'll pass back. Wolverines have to get reset. Veen back over towards Peterson. Pardon me, that's not Peterson, that's Tamer.
The intensity of this game has taken a noticeable ramp up.
Wolverines on the far side, moves it forward towards Anderson. Anderson out towards Hope. Hope trying to get to the attacking quarter. She does, gets past the defender, moves towards the striking circle, passes underneath the defender's legs. Harvard knocks it away. It'll roll out of bounds about 5 to 10 yards behind the 23-meter line. Hope sends it sideways. Looking for Veen. Veen playing much farther forward than she usually does. She'll send it into the striking circle. Deflection, that goes wide. Veen, strong shot. Deflection attempt by Hallie O'Neill. That'll go wide left.
That was a good offensive setup by the Wolverines. one of their best of the game so far.
If you're new to field hockey, you do have to shoot the ball from inside the striking circle, or at least touch the ball from inside the striking circle to score the goal. Wolverines have the ball pinned into the near corner. Alana Richardson getting some action for the first time today. She'll send it back towards Oliveros. Oliveros still pinned to the corner. 2 defensemen for Harvard. Oliveros with a long cross looking for Apula. That just goes off of her stick. Roll out on the other side onto the far sideline, and that'll be Harvard ball.
There's also a nice cut in by a Harvard defender there.
5 minutes left in the third quarter. Score 0-0. Shot count 2 for Harvard, 1 for the Wolverines. Only 1 on goal so far, and that was for Harvard. Wolverines have been sniffing ever closer to that first shot on goal.
No, they're getting closer and closer, and they're building on this offensive momentum.
Wolverines forechecking well, have Harvard pinned into their defensive far corner. Foul on the Wolverines, they'll have to back up. With the ball for the Crimson. Moving forwards, downs the sideline, knocked away by Tamer. Tamer able to corral the puck just on the center line. Pula moves it forward. Ball comes in towards the striking circle. Out in front, looking for Pertek. Ball's knocked away, out of bounds. Wolverines trying to keep the pressure on. Tamer, back by the 23-meter line, sends it over towards Veen. Veen on the near side. She'll send it long pass towards the corner. That had some heat on it, looking for D'Angelo. That'll go past D'Angelo's diving stick and roll out past the end line. 4 minutes now remaining in the third quarter.
On that previous attempt, Harvard's defense just really let Michigan in there.
Harvard pinned to the near sideline. Good cut pass. The stick of Hallie O'Neill knocks the ball up into the air. Hope able to make sure the ball stays down. Tamer moves it forward. Looking for Abby Tamer. Abby trying to break towards the striking circle. Can't get past the Harvard defender. Number 16 for the Crimsons, Murdoch, playing too tight.
If I'm the Wolverines, I might want to take what I've just seen there. In terms of Harvard, once you're in the striking circle, they play very light on the Wolverines, not looking to draw any corners, but there is a chance for if they are...
There's a long chance. Rushing in is Donahue. Donahue knocked down. Speaker comes way far out of the goal. Here's a chance for the Harvard Crimson. Speaker came very far out to the top of the penalty circle, sliding down, collides with the Harvard player, knocks the ball away. Harvard had a rebound opportunity. Ball played up by Harvard, knocked into the body of a Wolverine, and Harvard has their first corner of the day. It's going to be a chance for Harvard to take that go-ahead goal, and honestly, the way it's looking, perhaps that may be all they need.
So there's going to be a video review on that. Potentially, I think, on the corner call there. But just to highlight the play, obviously this has been pretty slow game in terms of offensive, but also, as we've highlighted, Harvard's goalie, Ellie Chabot. Maybe I should have been highlighting Anna Speaker because she is playing out of her mind right now and very aggressive, but it's very much paying off.
You know, there are some scenes in the NHL where you'll see goalies come very far out of the crease. Cam Talbot, Antti Ranta did it recently, I believe, for the Hurricanes. That's much more encouraged in field hockey, actually. When you do have that one-on-one, you want to come forward as much as you can, knock the ball away, because there is that maximum distance that they can shoot from. They can't shoot from forever like you can in ice hockey.
And like we've also mentioned, Harvard has had a lot of their offensive chances on those fast breaks, and Anna Speaker has read that really well in terms of she knows when Harvard's coming in and they're pushing in and there's going to be a shot, if she wants to go and take the really aggressive play, come all the way out to stop that lead girl, it's most likely going to pay off for her because they don't have a second player right there ready to capitalize on there being a wide open net. She's still a couple seconds behind, so the defenders have time to get in, cut her off, while Speaker has a chance to go back to her net.
Donahue was the player breaking down on the fast break. After the first save, that moved over to Tarrant on the far side, right wing. She was not able to go forwards as the shot was blocked. At certain points, you know that you're going to have the corner attempt for Harvard. You might as well make sure the ball doesn't go in the net.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously you want to take your chance with them having to get something set up than them having you in all alone.
It appears the call went the Wolverines' way. No, it did not. The call stands.
So there is going to be a
There's
corner.
going to be a corner. This will be taken on the near side by number 5, Mazarine Bros.
this could be the difference in this game.
Crimson appear to have 6 lined up on the perimeter. 1 just a bit farther back. That one is Murdoch. Wolverines have the 4 defenders. Tamer, Apula. Couple more in the net. Doing a short huddle for what they're going to do on the long corner attempt here.
With a game as low scoring as this, you got to prevent it here.
Here comes the ball. Moves in towards the top of the arc. Rushing forwards to Apula. Shot goes just wide. That was a diving shot made by Speaker. A diving save attempt made by Speaker. It got past her, but it went out of bounds off of a Wolverine stick just left of the net. Harvard looking to keep the pressure going. They'll inbound it, moving towards the left side. Pin to the far corner. Near corner is Greenwood. Greenwood tries to spin around. Still with the ball. 2 Michigan defenders on her.
Great defensive job by the Wolverines, obviously. It wouldn't be so absurd to go as far to say that the next goal wins, and obviously you want that to be you. And corners are a prime opportunity for scoring goals, so the fact that they were able to prevent that is a good sign for moving into nearly the last quarter of this game.
Veen tries to clear it away from the defensive quarter. She does. Couple missed passes by the Wolverines, looking for Pilar Oliveros. That'll roll out of bounds on the near sideline. Harvard just about 5 yards behind their center line. Inbounding the ball is number 19. She'll move it across the field to the far side. Applying pressure is Apula. She's been everywhere, and also Piertek. Rushing forward, breaking towards the striking circle is Harvard. Bit of a bounce pass. It's loose inside the ball, inside the striking circle. Veen spins around with it. Goes to the far corner. Veen keeps the ball. 90 seconds remaining in the quarter now. Veen tries to clear, knocked forward by the Wolverines. By Crimson. It'll bounce off a Wolverine stick out of bounds. Or there's a foul, rather. It'll be at the corner pylon. Harvard gets things restarted back. Still in the offensive zone, but all the way back in the second quarter of the field. They'll move over to the far side. Wolverines steal the ball away. Long chip pass there, looking for Abby Tamer. Abby unable to control the ball. It'll go off her stick and out of bounds. She'll immediately be subbed out. D'Angelo back in. Wolverines looking for a more offensive-minded approach in the last 40 seconds with D'Angelo coming in, Tamer coming out.
Just can't let your game get sloppy here with Harvard applying even that just the last second pressure.
Well, to keep calling back to it, we saw it happen against Miami, Ohio. Wolverines scoring with 2.3 seconds left. If you looked 70 seconds left in the game, looked like Harvard had this one all wrapped up. Miami, Ohio had this one all wrapped up. Wolverines come back to win in regulation. Harvard pressing now with 13 seconds left there, pinned to the far corner. Long cross, ball bounces up in the air. Still loose. Breaking in towards the corner is Harvard. Whistle's blown. And with 2 seconds left, danger will be mitigated. That'll be the buzzer. And 15 left to play in regulation. The score 0-0. Shots 4-2 in favor of the Harvard Crimson. What are the Wolverines' keys to the game ending this one in regulation?
Getting back to that offensive zone, sort of momentum that they had before they had that breakaway, which turned into sort of a Harvard domination of the end of that quarter. They had some good plays that were set up. They were able to take advantage of Harvard's sort of light defense when they're in the semicircle, obviously not trying to draw any corners. But it was almost too light. They were letting, Sophie Southam with that dribble play, and then just letting another play where they just let her go all the way in and almost get that shot on. They want to return to that, want to return to being back on the offensive side and just not letting any more breakaways happen because as Harvard has proven, they can be very dangerous.
Well, we'll get back to you in about a minute. Thank you for sticking with us here on this cold Ann Arbor day, the first real day looking like it's winter. See you shortly. Welcome back. Fourth quarter action getting underway. Nina Apula starting the ball with the Wolverines on the near side. Wolverines going from left to right. Their right wing is our near side. Their left wing is our far side. Apula streaking down the near sideline. Moves in towards the corner. Tries to break forwards. Defense too strong. Moves past the end. The ball comes outside the end line. Still the Wolverines' ball, played off of a crimson foot. At the 23-meter line, Hope will have the ball. She'll send it all the way back for Veen. Veen about 40 yards away from the Harvard goal. Sends it far side.
If they're able to get this in the semicircle into Sophie Southam, they have a chance to do something really good there.
Attempted cross by Wolverines. Hits the body of a Harvard player. They'll try to break in towards the striking circle. Long shot. Whistle blown. Don't think play had ever actually officially started. Ball comes back for Tamer. Tamer looking for a pass to make. She'll move forwards, looking for Hope. That was a bit of a risky pass, almost off target. Hope gets to it in time, though Hope has a defenseman pinned to her. Ball rolls out of bounds. Hope will inbound it. Moving for Anderson. Anderson breaks towards moving from right to left towards the top of the striking circle. Stays on the line. That rolled for about 10 seconds, staying on the line. Looks like the Wolverines coach asking for a video review about whether or not that went in. Marsha Pancratz. She is never, ever pleased with how our referees call this game. She is quite fiery. Wolverines have a chance going in for a cross there. Knocked off the pads. Great pad save by Shabo.
Just a real unfortunate angle. Basically, completely parallel.
Yeah, it's one of those low percentage shots.
Kind of hoping for a rebound there, but unfortunately it did rebound, but right off the goalie and then out for Harvard.
Wolverines still with the offensive pressure, moving in from left to right. And it will be a corner opportunity for the Wolverines, their second of the game. You have to imagine Catherine Peterson will be the one putting it in.
I hope so. No, this is definitely a prime opportunity for the Wolverines. They've had a corner. They weren't able to capitalize on it, but it's not for lack of trying. Absolute laser of a shot from Sophie Southam. Here, though, the intensity is ramped up. It's, serious now. We're in the fourth quarter. It's, this could be the game-winning goal if it were to go in.
Southam is lined up on the left side. Anderson and Veen in the center. D'Angelo on the right. Ball coming from the left side. Peterson sends it to the center, settled by Anderson. Veen with a strong shot. That bounces off a body. That's blocked away. Wolverines still have a chance. They have the ball on the right side. Spinning around is Clark. Another penalty corner. More chances for the Wolverines. As long as they keep this pressure on, as long as they keep getting corner after corner, stringing them together, you'll have to imagine one will go in eventually.
You also have to imagine that it's going to get very tiring for Harvard. And what they did there is that they were able to get those defenders at midfield in pretty quickly, and they were the ones that were really getting that stop. If this continues to happen, they're able to keep that ball in the offensive zone. They're going to get tired and they're going to get slow, and then you're going to keep that sort of man advantage.
Not to mention this line of five defensemen that have to run in from the center line towards the striking circle. Ball comes in out for Apula. Apula fakes a pass. Southam with a long shot. That's blocked away. Great save by Shabo. And that'll be the end of the offensive opportunity for the Wolverines as it drops down.
Harvard got lucky there. There was going to be an absolute blast from the left side.
Wolverines keeping pressure, though. Not allowing Harvard having any space to breathe. Apula cuts a pass away, sends it out for D'Angelo. D'Angelo moves in, pinned to the corner, has Hope behind her. She'll pass back to Hope. Ball knocked away by Harvard. Hope tries to keep it in. The ref saying that the ball went off of Hope's stick from our angle. Didn't quite look like it, but ref is field level. Apula cuts another pass. She's fantastic at that. She'll move from left to right, passing back for O'Neill. O'Neill wrestles away from Lucy Leal for Harvard.
Leal came out of nowhere on that one, so that could have been dangerous.
Wolverines get things a little more settled. Happy to take a more lax approach on offense. Just keep Harvard knowing that the Wolverines have the ball. Make them sweat, make them worry. Find a crack in the defense. Hope with the ball on the 23-meter line on the near side, about 10 yards from the sideline. Passes it into the corner. Anderson has the ball. Spins around a defender. Moves towards the striking circle. Gets past another one. Kept in by the Wolverines. And the ref blows the whistle, saying that it was going to be Wolverines' ball. Not entirely sure why
It seemed
or
like
how.
Southam kept it in. I mean, she went out, but the ball stayed in bounds.
Either way, Wolverine ball from a spot where they're usually inbound from. Wolverines keep it on the sideline. Apula races towards the near corner, spins around a defender. Defender stays with her, tries to get a cross in, knocked away by Harvard defense. Number 14 for Harvard, Leal races down the near sideline, gets outside of the attacking corner, tries to get a pass, knocked away by the stick of O'Neal. Harvard still breaking down. Donahue sprints down the left side. Wolverines defense gets back in time. We'll see if they can do anything. Donahue almost slips and falls. She does this time. Not able to get everything she wants on the pass. Emma Tamer, surrounded by two Harvard attackers inside the defensive striking circle, goes out of bounds. They're going to call it going off of a Wolverine. Appears to be Tamer. Harvard inbounding on top of their 23-meter line. Move over to the far side. Pass goes into the striking circle, cut easily by the defense. O'Neal doing well there. Apula moves down the near sideline, tries to get outside of the defensive quarter. Unsuccessful, knocked away by the stick of a Harvard player. Goes out of bounds.
Something the Wolverines have dominated this game in is intercepting Harvard's passes. Harvard has not been able to do that with nearly the same rate that the Wolverines have.
Especially Apula. Wolverines come down the side, down the center. Diving redirection there by Anderson. Gets the ball over to where it needs to be with Catherine Peterson. Peterson sends a ball down the sideline with some heat on it. Just gets past Wolverines players. 10 minutes now remain in the fourth quarter. Score still 0-0. Pardon me.
No, the score may still be pretty blank, but it's definitely gotten more interesting here as the game's gone on. Both teams showing a noticeable uptick in intensity.
Harvard comes down the near sideline. They'll try to get things settled. Keeping it away is Catherine Peterson. Peterson steals the ball. Pinned to the sideline. Goes off of her stick. Harvard has the ball back. 20 yards from the end line. Slowly creeping in towards the striking circle is number 11 for Harvard, Keely Allen. Knocked away by the stick of Catherine Peterson. Peterson sends a fast ball down the left side. That was looking for D'Angelo. It'll roll slowly. Knocked off of a Harvard stick, out of play. Wolverines with the ball.
Snow's still coming down pretty heavily. Not too heavily, but still noticeable. And definitely having an impact on this game, as you saw when Donahue, who could have gone all the way to goal, did kind of take a tumble.
Wolverines try to get the ball away from Harvard. Harvard having it inside their defensive striking circle. Southam playing good forechecking. Ball is taken away, but it's out by the top of the 23-meter line. Wolverines will get things restarted. Out with Hope. Hope has to send it back in as a whistle was blown. Wolverines loading the striking circle right now. They have Apula in there. They have Southam in there. Tamer sends it into the corner. Apula with the ball. Tries to get in towards Anderson at the top of the striking circle. Anderson has the ball. Spins around. They're saying it bounced off of Anderson's body. It's going to be Harvard ball. 7.5 minutes remain. We are halfway through this fourth quarter. Catherine Peterson coming out, getting some well-deserved rest. Emmy Tran comes in. Wolverines cut the pass on the inbound. Racing towards the far side. Hope has a chance here. Can she get to the striking circle? She does. Chips pass in. Knocked away. A clear attempt by Harvard off of Hope's stick. Rolls out of bounds. Harvard, they're on their back foot. They're retreating. But Wolverines not able to get anything in. 5 shots now for the Wolverines. It appears to have been 3 in this quarter.
No, there's definitely a noticeable difference in the way that Wolverines are playing. They shift almost all of their aggression onto that offensive side.
Wolverines on defense went almost 70 minutes without a shot before going into the third quarter of this game. Harvard tries to get the ball down the near sideline. Stick of Hope knocks it away. Hope protests, ref not having any of it. Harvard moving down the side. Wolverines have to play defense as Harvard gets it in towards Donahue. Donahue pinned to the corner, taken away by Apula. Strong showing there. Sorry, that's not Apula, that's Tran. It's a bit, the field is getting a bit dark, sun has gone down. Numbers are a bit getting hard to read. Ref blows the whistle. There's been some confusion. It'll be Wolverine ball, though. about 5 yards in front of their defensive 23-meter line. They'll send it back into the defensive quarter with Veen. Excuse me, pardon me. Veen moves forwards, sends it over towards the near side with Hope. Hope tries to get to Tran, bounced off of Harvard's stick. That'll roll into the offensive half of the field, about 5 yards in front of the center line on the near sideline. Tran with the ball. Tran will take it in, dribble it herself, moves forwards, looking for number 7 on the Wolverines. That would be Alana Richardson. Harvard has the ball, though, as it rolled past the end line. Richardson misses the reception of the pass.
The Wolverines here in this offensive zone, when they have those opportunities, Southam is so close to the goalie and so into that semicircle that when they're trying to get it to her, the sort of traffic jam of Harvard defenders prevents it.
Harvard moving down the far side. 2 Wolverines tight playing defense. Bailey Bowman getting her first action of the game. And Apula. Wolverines with the ball after it goes out of bounds. They'll try to move it down the sideline. Couple passes. Kept in by D'Angelo. Fantastic work there. She had speed to get to it. Pass out to Anderson. Still in the defensive half, but moving ever closer towards the center line. Hope will cross it on the near side. Sent into the corner. Pass. No one was nearby where it was supposed to be. Harvard has the ball, but they're pinned into that far near corner. Pardon me, their defensive near corner. Tina D'Angelo playing strong defense. Long pass blocked away by Tran. Chance for the Wolverines inside the striking circle. That one goes just wide. Long shot taken on the top of the striking circle by Laura Clark. That'll go just left of the goal.
That was inches away from going in. If Chabot would have gotten there just a step too late, right on the edge of the post.
Catherine Peterson back in. Wolverines want that goal in regulation. 4 minutes now remaining in the fourth quarter. Score 0-0. Anderson steals away inside the striking circle. Still taking a shot. That goes high, very high over the goal. More chances for the Wolverines coming in late in this game.
Just got a little too far under that one. The Wolverines have, obviously, even just in this tournament, have done a phenomenal job late in games.
You can hear the fans coming to life now. They're behind the Wolverines. Another cut pass by the Wolverines, moving in towards the striking circle. They're slowed down by a whistle. They'll still have the ball. We're seeing what's happening. There was a bit of confusion. Marsha Pankratz yelling aggressively. You hear a "Let's Go Blue" chant from the stands. Apula passes back to Veen. Fans can feel something coming here. Veen sends it towards the sideline, near side with Hope. Hope bounces off of her shin. They're saying it bounced off of a Harvard shin, rather. Hope will have the ball on the sideline. Looks like it bounced off of Hope first from here, but again, refs have the better view. Hope keeps it in bounds, almost loses the ball. Tries to get it forwards towards Southam. Harvard knocks it away. Harvard trying to slow the game down, keep sending it out of bounds. Moving it towards the near corner. Peterson gets around the defender. Tries to break towards the striking circle. She's still not there. 2 defenders for Harvard, able to keep the ball away from her. Ball is out of bounds. Not out of bounds, pardon me. They're calling an infraction on Peterson. It's close to the end line. It'll be Harvard ball. 3 minutes remain in the fourth quarter. Strong pass. Harsh pass taken by number 13, Sienna Horton for the Crimson. Bounces off of a Harvard stick. Almost caught one of the Wolverine players up high.
There's going to be another
There's going to be a corner now for the Wolverines. 2.5 minutes to get into this game, left of this quarter.
Harvard is barely hanging in there at this point. They're doing everything they can to get that ball out, but the pressure by the Wolverines has become too much for them to bear.
On Friday, Sophia Southam played the hero late in the game. Katie Anderson also played the hero with 61 seconds left. We'll see what happens here if either of them can do it again or someone else can take the spotlight now. Catherine Peterson's going to insert from the far side. Wolverines showing the normal long corner setup. They have D'Angelo on the right. They have Southam on the left. Apula, Anderson, Veen in the center. Peterson sends it to the center. Settled by Anderson. Veen with a shot. Pass. Goes sideways. And that one's deflected away. Goes out of bounds. chance by the Wolverines. They took a couple of chances there with slowing the ball down, trying to get around the goalie. Unsuccessful. Wolverines move it in. They have 2 minutes left in this quarter.
Good job by Shabo to prevent there being any sort of deflection that could be sent right to a Wolverine for the rebound.
A big part of goaltending is controlling the angles on the rebound. Trying to get it out of bounds if it's a short corner attempt, if there's a corner attempt going on, long corner rather. Veen goes towards the striking circle. That was a hard pass, received well by O'Neill. Peterson tries to get it into the striking circle. Knocked away by Harvard defense. 90 seconds remaining in the quarter. Hope sends it back out to Veen. Veen into the striking circle, deflected up high. Chance for Wolverines, taken away by bad execution there. Snow is coming down. Sun has gone down. Harvard with a long chip pass. Tamer tries to play defense Harvard ball still. 70 seconds remaining in the quarter. Now Harvard with the ones with the momentum. Moving in sideways into the corner. Southam playing strong defense, goes in, tries to get a pass towards the striking circle. That'll roll out of bounds. They're saying it went off of the stick of a Wolverine. Harvard has the ball now. Catherine Peterson was the one taking a shot on that short corner, on that long corner attempt, for those of you keeping stats at home. Harvard breaks into the striking circle, long pass. They're on the left side.
They're call it
Cleared
Wolverine
away by the
ball.
Wolverines.
It's looking increasingly more like this game, unless we can see any more late game heroics. We'll be heading into overtime.
If you're unfamiliar with overtime rules, although 25 seconds left, we've seen plenty can happen. The long corner whistle was called with 8.1 seconds left in the game against Miami, Ohio. NCAA overtime rules for field hockey is 10 minutes on each side. After 2 10-minute overtime periods, if nothing has been scored, you go into a shootout. Wolverines try to get things down the line. The buzzer will blow, and we move on. After a game that's been delayed 3 hours, you now have at least some free field hockey. What do the Wolverines need to do to capitalize on that momentum going in from the end of the fourth quarter? They've been building. How are they going to put the dagger in the overtime?
Get that ball in to Southam. She is almost always ahead of her defender. They are playing really tight on her, as any team playing the Wolverines should be. But you can see, like, she is ready. If they can just are able to split the Harvard defenders once they're in that semicircle, the way that they've done really well in all other parts of the field, just when they get there and it's so condensed, it's a bit harder to. If they can just find the pass and get it into her, she has a chance to send the Wolverines on.
There appears to be some buzzing noise. We're going to try to get that solved in the meantime. So, stay with us for about 4 minutes. We'll be back with overtime. Welcome to overtime. There's nothing more dramatic than this. You win, you continue your season. You lose, you go home. NCAA tournaments in field hockey, best of 1.
And to add a bit more intrigue to the already very stressful overtime period, at the very end of that game, Harvard captain number 12, Mimi Tarrant, was issued a yellow card, meaning that the Wolverines will have a man advantage for the first 5 minutes of this 10-minute overtime period.
We'll see what happens next. We believe there are no issues with the audio, but if there are, sorry about that. 15 seconds remain in this break between the fourth quarter and overtime. Harvard won their game in overtime during the first round on Friday. Only needed 1 goal to do it. It was another 1-0 game like this one will inevitably end up. The question is for who?
However, as we've already pretty much talked about, they aren't the only team that's had some late game heroics, so it's just as much of a chance for it to be the Wolverines celebrating here.
Donahue starts with the ball. Harvard going to be the team in possession first. They'll pass back. Wolverines pressing forwards. Overtime played with 6 players per side plus a goalie. Harvard breaking down the far sideline. Ball taken away by the Wolverines. Foul called on Southam. Harvard will have it. Wolverine coaches yelling encouragement and directions to their players. Harvard sends it back. You can see the breath coming out of the players fogging up in the cold air. These can't be easy conditions to play in, and now you have to play for an extra time. Poke check. Southam takes the ball away. Clark settles it. Wolverines coming down the far side. Pass from Anderson back to Veen. Veen, long ball played for Apula. Apula spins around trying to get to the top of the striking circle. She'll have to retreat. 2 Harvard defenders on her, including Donahue. Out to Veen. Veen sent it to the far side. Anderson tries to get past the defender. Poke checked away. Ball will go out of bounds off of a Harvard Crimson stick. Anderson with the ball. She'll run back with it.
Now is a great chance if the Wolverines are able to just split 2 of these defenders and once again get that ball in. Great things could happen here early on.
Veen with the ball. Sends it near side for Apula. Apula at the dash line. Cross up into the air. Knocked down by a Wolverine player off of the body. Infraction called. Harvard ball. Apula, that cross was looking for Laura Clark. Clark trying to apply some forechecking pressure. Harvard on the near side. The disadvantage of a player is a lot more noticeable when there are only 5 players for your team that are not the goalie, and there are 6 for the other team. There's a lot more space, plenty of chances for passes to connect now. A lot more forgiving passes.
Especially since a problem for the Wolverines has been that crowded semicircle on when they're in the offensive zone.
Southam with the ball in between the dash line and the striking circle. Dribbles with it. 2 defenders come up to meet her. She'll break from the right side towards the center. Pass back to Anderson on the right side. Anderson moves into the striking circle. She's on the right, coming towards the center. Out of bounds, off a Harvard stick. Veen will have it at the 23-meter line. Actually taking it will be Anderson. Veen moves back. Passes back to Veen. Veen about 30 yards away from the goal. Out to Apula on the left side. Apula into the striking circle, spins around. Bouncing pass, kicked away by Shabo. Penalty corner for the Wolverines. 7 minutes left in this first overtime period. Wolverines have 9 shots, their 5th corner. That's not the correct team. Harvard Crimson have 4 shots, they have 1 corner.
And once again, Harvard is on the man disadvantage here.
They are
so even with those defensemen running in after the corner, it still could, it might not be enough.
They're going to have only 3 in the goal. Interestingly, with how few players are on the field for the Wolverines, Apula will be the one back. He's playing the long defense. Wolverines have 4 on the line. Veen, Anderson, Southam, and it appears to be Anderson. Laura Clark will take it, sends it out, crossed over to Southam. Southam with the shot. Blocker save. Rebound chance. It goes in. The Wolverines win it in overtime, and they'll move on to the Final Four. They're waiting for review.
There's going to be a review here, but I don't know what they're going to call.
They review every goal.
What I praised her for earlier, not letting that rebound, but this time she let it get basically right out. The Wolverines capitalized, and assuming this stands.
When you reach out with the blocker, there's not much you can do in desperation. The rebound comes. I couldn't tell you who scored that one. It was the farthest player to the right. On for the Wolverines, it appears to be Hallie O'Neal. We'll see. There's some discussion going on. We're waiting for the call to stand or be confirmed or confirmed or overturned. We'll see.
Because that ball was in the net, so that's not.
There is no goal, but a green card has been issued to the Harvard bench. Harvard stays alive.
Do we know what?
We do not know why.
Okay.
Wolverines still playing with pressure. Green card given to the Harvard bench. So that appears to mean that no player will be serving it. That appears correct. No player will be serving it. Still 2 minutes left in Harvard's initial disadvantage. If you're the Wolverines, how do you take that momentum swing of scoring and then have it knocked count?
Well,
continue that on.
First, you can't let Harvard have a fast break, which is
like
what
the one they're about
they
to
just
have.
did. But luckily, it's been broken up. Or
Catherine Peterson playing it.
They'll still be on the offensive pressure, but it will be broken up. Is you just got to forget it. If you're the Wolverines, that didn't happen. There was no even possibility of there being a goal. This is just as high intensity. You can't even take a second to be disappointed by the fact that you thought you won and you didn't, because then you get messed up, then you get psyched out, and then you let Harvard get the opportunity.
Snow coming down a lot more constant now. It's filling the air. Weather's been dropping as the temperature's been dropping as the night gets later and later. Harvard has the ball. They'll pass back, trying to move it forward into the attacking quarter.
Southam's initial shot was deemed too high.
Chance for Harvard there. Donahue inside the striking circle. Pass going for her. Just didn't connect. She had to dive for it a little bit. Couldn't reach it. Catherine Peterson passes over to Veen. Veen inside the defensive striking circle, moving towards the right side, down the right sideline. Clark with it. Sends it back to Veen. Veen transfers over to the left side. Catherine Peterson. She was not in before. Wolverines put her in. Chance they put her in. Perhaps they'll look for another long corner chance.
The Wolverines have dominated corners this game because, as we've mentioned, Harvard's main offense has been coming on fast breaks, whereas the Wolverines have been able to set up offensive pressure leading to those corners.
Anderson pinned to the far corner. She'll pass back for Veen. Veen inside the attacking quarter. Gets past the defender. Good trick move. Harvard, even strength now. Long shot by Peterson. That's blocked out in front. That'll sail out of bounds wide.
Looked like it did go off a Harvard defender there.
Wolverine in control. Catherine Peterson moves towards the center of the attacking quarter. Spins around past the defender. Can't get into the striking circle just yet. Now she does. Strong shot, looking for something. Moves left, just left of the goal.
Another place the Wolverines have dominated this game is in their dribbling and just making moves around other players.
Marsha Pankrat's getting talking to by the officials. Very vocal. Part of the reason the Wolverines love her so much. Harvard trying to get something going down the center of the field. Taken away. Good defensive work there by Veen. Veen sends it to Anderson. Anderson races down the center. Poke checked. Loses control of the puck. Ball.
Looked like she may have gotten tripped up just a little bit there, but not enough for anything to be called.
Harvard has the numbers disadvantage as they break into the offensive side. There's a card. We'll tell you who for. It's going to be on Anderson. The yellow card. She'll be released. over a minute into the second overtime period if the Wolverines make it that far.
Wolverines, really unfortunate just how momentum can shift like that. You can go from thinking that you've just won to now you're down a man for 5 minutes.
Harvard in the striking circle, cross chance, goes underneath all the sticks. There was a moment there where it was concerning for the Wolverines. And a speaker playing up a little bit. Veen sends it sideways for Peterson. Peterson, pinned, has to get past the defender, bounces it over the defender's stick, able to do it. Peterson moves sideways. That was looking for Richardson. Pass cut. Harvard breaking down the right side now. Slow rolling pass. Wolverines able to get to it. Richardson there. That could have been a lot more dangerous if the Harvard players got all they wanted on all those passes.
The Wolverines are trying to make these long breakout passes that are not working.
A yellow card. This one going to be on the Wolverines. They have now a two-person disadvantage for the remainder of this period. It's going to be on Alana Richardson. She has a release time of 8:58.
The Wolverines cannot let anything
Wolverines
in.
now 4 players. Pardon me, 7:58. 4 players against Harvard 6. They'll have to just play strong defense now. Richardson has the ball for the Wolverines in the defensive corner. Foul called. Harvard keeping the pressure. 2.5 minutes left of this overtime period. Breaking into the striking circle. Strong shot. Taken by number 10 for Harvard. Kicked away by the pads of Anna Speaker. Peterson passes back. Almost missed the pass into the striking circle. That would have been very dangerous. Veen able to corral the puck back towards Peterson in the near corner. Peterson sends it down the sideline looking for Apula. Nina Apula all alone, surrounded by 3 defenders. She'll run from left to right. Gets past the half line.
And this is what the Wolverines need to do. Yeah, it's risky if Harvard gets another breakout chance, but you can't just let them fester in your own defensive zone.
Apula dancing through all the defenders. It's going to be out of bounds off of Harvard. Wolverines have the ball in their attacking quarter. They don't have the numbers. They're down 2 players. We'll see what they can muster.
They definitely don't, and they are definitely at the disadvantage here. But what they do have is Sophie Southam, and they do have her ability to take a shot. If they can get the ball into her, let her launch one, because they can't. This is what they need to do. They need to maintain momentum in their offensive zone.
Southam is at the top of the striking circle.
If they let Harvard back, they let them sit in the offensive zone with 2 more players. That's more dangerous than the possibility of messing up on the offensive zone, because you still have time to get back.
Veen misses the pass, rolls out of the sideline. Harvard will have the ball in the defensive half. Move it sideways. They're on the near side now. Ball going for Greenwood. Greenwood tries to get past Southam. She does. Greenwood breaks in toward the offensive quarter. Has to get to the striking circle. Strong stick work by O'Neal. Southam pokes the ball away. Harvard still with it. Chance for number 10. Blocked up by Speaker, and that goes just wide. Left hand of Anna Speaker sends it sideways.
Speaker has done a phenomenal job.
34 seconds remain in this overtime period. Wolverines will still be down 2 players for about 2 minutes. Wolverines can't give up anything. Greenwood tries to break towards the goal. There's a chance. Knocked away by Speaker. Rebound opportunity for the Harvard Crimson. Just missed, and the Wolverines will clear it. 12 seconds remain in this overtime period. Greenwood with the ball.
Anna Speaker is standing on her head.
5 seconds left. Cross attempt. Knocked away by the defense of Sophia Southam. And that'll be the buzzer. Wolverines still down 2 for 1 minute and 11 seconds. And then down 1 for another 50.
Just shows how quickly things can change here. It seemed like the Wolverines had won, especially with that goal that was overturned as Southam's original shot was deemed too high, and therefore the rebound was unable to count. But it seemed like they had all the momentum, and then just like that, you're down 2, and all you can do is just hope that they aren't going to get any good shots off, and if they do, that your goalie is going to be phenomenal for you.
And she has.
And luckily for the Wolverines, Speaker has been.
We'll be back with you in 1 minute. Stay tuned with us for the second overtime period. We welcome you into the second overtime period. My name is Joshua Tenzer. I am joined here by Kendall Spencer. And so far, the theme of the first overtime period was momentum shift.
Yeah, the Wolverines started that first overtime with the momentum was entirely theirs. They were getting consistent offensive zone pressure. They were getting shots. They were getting the corners. And then it almost looked like they were getting the game-winning goal before that was overturned. And just in the blink of an eye, that was completely gone. Then it became all Harvard's, going up with a two-man advantage. 2 subsequent yellow cards ruled for the Wolverines.
Harvard will continue those two-man advantage for the next 71 seconds. And then for another 41 after that, they'll have a one-man advantage. Wolverines will start with the ball here in the beginning of the second overtime period. If the game remains scoreless at the end of this overtime period, we'll go into a shootout. A shootout being what felled Rutgers, number 1 seed, as they went on against Liberty. Liberty making it to the Final Four. The Final Four will be played here in Ann Arbor at Ocker Field. If the Wolverines make it, as far as they can go, the WCBN will be calling them. But not looking ahead too far, there's still plenty of game left to be played. Southam, pinned to the near corner on the offensive side, tries to look for a crossing pass. Pinned to the corner, she's waiting, taking her time, letting seconds keep ticking down. Now 40 seconds till Anderson allowed back in. We'll see if they put Anderson in or if they substitute her.
The story of that first overtime period near the end there, too, was also the phenomenal goaltending of Anna Speaker. Couple really high-stress situations, but she did absolutely what you asked for her, especially on the man disadvantage.
Southam killing time. Breaks into the striking circle. Ball's knocked away by Harvard. Harvard has a chance now with the break. They have a two-man disadvantage, 6 versus 4. They also have the numbers, 3 versus 2. Donahue on the left side. Donahue, the goal scorer in the overtime against Harvard. Anderson's back on. Anderson rushing in to help out defensively. Harvard has to pass all the way back into the defensive half by number 19. Harvard break forward. Emily Guckian moves it to Donahue. Donahue, the player to watch. Harvard breaking in towards the goal. Knocked away. It'll be a penalty corner for Harvard. 90 seconds gone in the second overtime period. Still 30 seconds before Alana Richardson comes back in. And here's a chance for Harvard to put the dagger in Michigan. Their second corner of the day. Wolverine let up 2 goals in 2 corners against Miami, Ohio. Their defense may, their defense may not be up to snuff here. We'll see what happens next. Inserting is Donahue from the near side. Rutgers have 3 on the perimeter. 2 up front, 1 on the left side. Greenwood on the left. And that is Pierce. And I cannot tell you who the other one is. Crouch down, can't see our number. Pierce with the ball. Sends it over towards the far side. Just rolls past. Unable to steady it was Tarrant. Rolls out of bounds. Wolverines and Wolverines fans alike breathe a sigh of relief.
And have you ever been more grateful for snow in November if you're the Wolverines right now?
Score is still 0-0. We are deadlocked at Goose Eggs here in the second overtime period. The second game to go to a second overtime period of the 4 played today. Wolverines almost corral a pass. There's a chance for Donahue. Breaks in. Veen misplays it. Into the striking circle. Veen knocks it away. Wolverines return to full strength. Alana Richardson back in. Harvard has the ball. They'll move it back. Trying to get something restarted. Number 19. Sets it backwards. Pierce moves to the near side. Greenwood breaks towards the striking circle. Strong defensive work there by Katie Anderson. Knocks the ball away. She has the ball on her stick. Slows down. Catches her breath. Pinned to the far sideline.
Great work by the Wolverines throughout that 2-man disadvantage.
She'll move it back to Veen over to Southam. Southam coming down the near sideline. Running with the ball. Past the half line. Tries to get a pass into the corner. Cut away. Strong defensive stick there by number 19 on Harvard. Southam bobbling the ball on her stick. We've seen her do that once before. She loses it a little bit, though. Can't get into the striking circle. She'll pass back to Abby Tamer. Tamer, she's seeing her first overtime action. Ball's knocked away. It'll roll into the corner. She'll be in the sideline. 6.5 minutes remaining now in the second overtime period. Abby Tamer breaks to the striking circle. From left to right, can't get in, ball's lost. Mimi Tarrant, captain for Harvard Crimson. Running down the near side, she'll pass it back to Donahue. Donahue has Abby Tamer on her. She'll pass over to the far side. Pierce gets a couple passes in. Wolverines make a substitution. Peterson comes in. Harvard Crimson have a chance there. They get into the striking circle. They'll pass from left to right, and that'll just go beyond the stick of any Harvard attacker. The pass was intended for Hannah Pierce. Wolverines 6 minutes left in the overtime period. Pass sideways. And I can tell you that going up against a shootout, if it goes that far, against Ellie Shabo, is not something that the Wolverines want to do.
No, as I mentioned pretty early on, I think second quarter of this game, Ellie Shabo has been phenomenal for Harvard this season. And while Anna Speaker has played incredible in this game, the shootout, it's down to you and it's down to the goaltender. And Ellie Shabo, she'll take those matchups and she won't be worried about them.
Wolverines will have a couple options, Southam probably, Veen, but it's not something that the Wolverines want to get themselves into. Harvard streaking down the right side. Strong defense played by Abby Tamer.
Especially
Bit too strong, they'll call a foul on her.
Especially when the Wolverines have had such dominant offensive performances, they want to capitalize on those. And it feels almost dishonest to have this game come down to a shootout.
We are halfway through the second overtime period, still scoreless, still locked at goose eggs. Hope comes in for Anderson. Number 19 for Harvard gets past Hope. Past pin to the corner. There's a cross. It's into the striking circle. Wolverines have to play defense. Ball is loose. Kicked away by Speaker. Wolverines have to clear it now. They do. They get it out of play. Outside the striking circle, rather. Nina Apula running with the ball, trying to slow things down. It's on the sideline. Wolverines will inbound it. Couple substitutions made by the Wolverines. Hope sends it back to Veen. Veen able to corral the pass this time. She'll send it far side. Wolverines looking for a chance. Ball knocked away. Greenwood gets past Peterson. Peterson plays good defense. Keeps it for the Wolverines. Harvard has the ball, though. Harvard also has the numbers. Wolverine defense able to rush back in time.
Snow is still coming down here.
It feels almost Christmas movie with how slowly it's falling and how it's illuminated by the lights. Regardless of the speed it's falling, it's still quite a difficult condition to play field hockey in.
And we've definitely seen it affect this game in all aspects.
Especially with field hockey being played on a water-based turf. Southam sends it over towards the side. Near corner, Hallie O'Neill. O'Neill races to it, gets it, keeps it in bounds. She'll pass back to Southam. Southam on the sideline, moves towards the striking circle. She's got a defender on her tail, spins around, stops herself, passes back to Veen. Veen sends it to Hope on the near side. Hope gets past the attacking corner. Shot taken by the Wolverines. Catherine Peterson, that sends it just wide. 3 minutes remaining.
Wolverines have been so close here. They've had so many shots just miss the net, whether it's been off to the side, we've had one on left and right, or the one that went over.
There's a penalty corner. Hope moved in towards the striking circle, tried to get it past that, bounced off the body of Avery Donahue.
And the
Wolverines with a chance here. Put the final nail in the coffin of Harvard. 3 minutes left in the second overtime period.
The corners are 6-2 right now in favor of the Wolverines as well. And again, that just goes to show they're getting offensive pressure and they're getting it consistently. So they need to capitalize on it, because otherwise it's out of their hands. Even if they've been the dominant team in the offensive zone, shootout is anyone's game.
They're also out shooting Harvard 13-9. Peterson has been subbed in for a little while now. She'll probably be the one to insert it for the Wolverines. She'll be taking it from the far side. Wolverines have 4 players forward, 3 on the line, 1 back. O'Neill was the one who took the final shot on that goal that didn't count. Interestingly enough, Southam not in the game. Oh, she is actually, rather. She was lined up center. Veen has a chance on a rebound. Bounced off her foot, though she wasn't able to corral it, and that corner goes away. Southam was playing where Anderson usually plays. Anderson was not in. Strong defense by Hope. Rosie Hope runs in for the Wolverines. No one's in front of her, so she's got to take it in herself, which is never something you'd like to see as a defenseman. Breaks towards the striking circle, passes in for Southam. Southam with the shot, she just misses on it. Ball was poked away by one of the Harvard defenders. It looked to be Avery Donahue.
That was going to be a blast from Southam.
Southam lined up for it, just got turf.
A couple really good fake outs by Hope there, too.
2 minutes left in the second overtime period. Clocks keep ticking down. Ball rolls out of bounds on the far side after an errant pass from the Crimson. Wolverines have the ball. Veen with it. She'll send it cross to Hope on the near side. Hope in the defensive half of the field. Spins around, sends it back to Veen on, Veen. On the right side. Left wing, rather. And that pass looking for Hope goes a bit too far in front of her. It'll be Harvard ball. 100 seconds left in the second overtime period. Wolverines rush to get back onto defense. Ball goes into the striking circle, unable to be corralled by any Harvard players. And it'll be a corner opportunity for Harvard.
Harvard on their last corner had an errant pass that took the ball out of the semicircle. They're not going to make that mistake again. Really dangerous territory for the Wolverines here.
90 seconds left in the second overtime period.
What differs?
There is tension in the air.
What differs from this corner, though, is at least the Wolverines are playing equal and they don't have a man disadvantage.
We'll see what happens next. Either way, thank you for sticking with the WCBN. We'd also like to extend a hearty thank you towards all Fields crew and event staff who helped shovel snow starting at 11 o'clock, 2 hours before the game was supposed to go, and continued shoveling through the mix of weathers that we saw all the way till about 2:30 p.m.
Conditions have definitely not been ideal, but the NCAA did say to put this game in Michigan. So
yes.
they had to be...
And the Final Four.
They had to say they were ready
November.
for whatever.
Donahue will be inserting. Harvard showing 3 at the top. Just a misplay by Harvard. Unable to corral the pass off the insert is Hannah Pierce.
Well, I said they weren't going to make the mistake again, and they didn't by making a mistake earlier on with having the ball roll right by them.
Wolverines applying pressure now. Harvard with the ball still in the attacking half. At the midline is Pierce. Pierce rolls it forward. Wolverines, 60 seconds left to survive. It's into the striking circle now, all the way on the left side. Cross attempt, taken away. There's a strong shot, blocked by Speaker. Peterson gets it outside the striking circle. Harvard defense, specifically Greenwood, hot on her tail. Peterson takes it all the way down to the half line on the far sideline. Long pass, looks for O'Neal. O'Neal's got it. Wolverines rush in. Pirtek, all alone in the striking circle. Neal tries to break through. There's going to be a corner for the Wolverines with 27.3 seconds left.
This is not the first time the Wolverines have a chance to have some real late game heroics here.
It's looking quite similar
And
with, momentum-wise and chance-wise to the Miami, Ohio game.
And with a corner, getting this ball in here, if I'm the Wolverines, I'm looking for Southam.
Southam on her spot on the left as per usual. Veen at the top. She likes to take those strong, powerful shots. And Pirtek on the right. Catherine Peterson going to be inserting the ball.
Wolverines have had some incredible shots that have just barely missed the net. It almost feels like it's only right that at this point.
Out to Southam. Southam just outside the striking circle. Southam with a strong shot. That goes just wide. Just to the right of the net.
I was hoping that saying that it would be on net this time, but
10 seconds left. Harvard looks content to take this to a shootout. Greenwood, strong shot. She catches a Wolverines player in the shin. There's no padding there, and that is, unfortunately for the Wolverines, going to be the end. We are being told to quiet. In considerable pain, it appears to be Sophia Southam. It's not something the Wolverines are going to want to see, especially heading into a shootout where you need the shooting power.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 2-minute break. We will be right back with you with any information about Sophia Southam caught in the right shin. An ugly scene here in Ann Arbor as Sophia Southam carried off the field. Strong contact made with the stick of Rachel Greenwood trying to clear the ball. Nothing malicious. Just caught Sophia Southam in the shin. They stabilized the leg and carried her off the field.
Just a really, really unfortunate just positioning for her.
You also can't talk about the injury without saying that it was Sophia Southam, one of the strongest shooters for the Wolverines, especially as we move into the shootout. Wolverines and Harvard both have 5 shots. Whoever scores the most goals on 5 shots will be declared the winner. If it's tied, move on 1-shot rounds.
As we've mentioned before, Ellie Chabot for Harvard has had a phenomenal season.
A bunch of viewers joining us now. Could you care to give them a recap of what we've seen so far?
Through 4, it was a back-and-forth game. Wolverines were able to maintain offensive momentum. Harvard had most of their chances on fast breaks. Wolverines were down 2 in that first overtime period, but managed to hold off Harvard's attack. Harvard also making some crucial errors on the corner. And we find ourselves still tied at 0 as we head into the shootout.
Wolverines pumping up the crowd. The
Well,
crowd fell very silent after the Southam injury.
While I've mentioned Ellie Chabot, Anna Speaker has had a phenomenal game. A couple really impressive, almost highlight reel-worthy sliding stops, but also coming up in those high-intensity, high-pressure moments. It's been an incredible game if you're a fan of goaltending, and you get to be rewarded even further as we head into the shootout here.
Speaker in net on the... Both teams will be on the left side, it appears? Yes, both teams will be on the left side. Coming in, Rachel Greenwood. She has taken 2 shots, one of them on goal, played 61 minutes today. Anna Speaker, 7 saves on 7 shots on goal for the Wolverine goalie. Greenwood.
She had 2 goals this season.
Breaks in, forwards, coming out of Speaker. Moves to the left side. Shows her back to Speaker, gets around Speaker, diving, goal in towards the bottom right corner. Speaker unable to keep up with it. Harvard up 1-0 in the shootout.
There was nothing Speaker could do about that one.
Got outweighted.
Once she was down, Greenwood just had the space.
Katie Anderson, 1 shot, 0 on goal. She also got the yellow card in the middle of the first overtime period.
Anderson, 2 goals this season as well.
Anderson moves forward, right down the center. Knocked away by the stick of Chabot. Still in play. That shot goes just left of the goal. Harvard up 1-0 in the shootout at the end of round 1. Moving in for Harvard, captain Mimi Tarrant. 4 shots, 3 of them on goal. Got the sole yellow card for Harvard.
Tarrant had 1 goal.
There's a review on the... Michigan requests a video review on the recent attempt by Katie Anderson. We'll see what happens now.
Tarrant had 1 goal this season for Harvard.
We thank you for joining us here with WCBN as we move into the shootout here in Ocker Field. There are 8 seconds on the clock during each individual shootout attempt. 8 seconds for a player to make the goalie miss or for the goalie to stand tall.
Lots of games so far in this tournament have gone into overtime. Harvard's last game, in fact, was an overtime win, 1-0 over Louisville. And they are a pretty lights-out team once you get into the back half of things.
We're waiting for more confirmation on the video review. We'll see what happens.
Also some coats for the Wolverine players waiting to take their shots, as it is
cold.
Definitely actively snowing.
Not to mention, when you're running around, it doesn't feel as bad, but now that you're standing there just watching the rest, it's 34 degrees with heavy precipitation and a real feel of, I don't know. We'll find out.
Also pretty pitch black outside. But
oh, most certainly. Nightfall has certainly come over Ann Arbor.
We're going to be getting the results of the review now.
Harvard happy with it. There is still no goal call, and the field has been confirmed. Tarrant. Getting ready. Moving in. 8 seconds on the clock. Ref signals ready. Tarrant moves in with speed. Goes to the left. Stops. Spins around Speaker. Gets past her. Goes bottom right again. Harvard up 2-0. Michigan about to get their second attempt.
They've had the same strategy, both Tarrant and Greenwood, which is they get almost completely up on Speaker, have their back to her. They force her to move first. They're not afraid of their time running out. Speaker sticks her leg out, and then they're just able to push it by her on the outside.
This one appears to be taken by Laura Clark. Moves into the right side. Stick taken away by Shabo. Still 1 second remaining. Laura Clark misses on the second swing. Harvard up 2-0. Number 19. Issei Goye.
She had no goals for Harvard in the regular season.
She also has zeros on the stat sheet this entire time. But if she scores here, she puts Michigan back against the wall. Comes up, moves to the left, same thing. Spins around, gets past Speaker, boots in bottom left. Speaker bit on the right side, and she's down. If the Wolverines don't score here, their season comes to an end.
O'Neal with 2 goals this season.
And O'Neal's stat line today, 1 shot, 1 on goal.
And if not for the overturn, that would have had 1 game-winning goal.
Speaker appears to be stretching out. And getting ready. It's number 13 for the Wolverines. In case Speaker is unable to play. And in case O'Neal scores. Number 13 for the Wolverines. Their backup goalie. Jillian Dumont. She is the sophomore from Vienna, Virginia. There's no time for that, as moving in towards the left is O'Neal. O'Neal puts her back to the goalie. Ball's taken away. Rebound opportunity, and that'll be the buzzer, and Harvard completes the upset. The Wolverines are sent home. Marsha Pancratz looking for perhaps a challenge. But if all things stand, there will be 0 top 4 teams in the Final Four.
And it comes down to Ellie Shabo. She has been their difference maker all season. Incredible. She's been lights out. And in the shootout, she stands tall. Just a phenomenal game by her. But also a phenomenal game by Anna Speaker. It's just unfortunate that it had to come down to the shootout when so much is luck. It comes down to that one-on-one matchup that day, that time, that exact moment. It could go differently any other day.
Well, that'll be all for us at WCBN for field hockey this season. For all who've covered it so far, it's been a wild ride. Wolverines started the season practically undefeated, moved on against Iowa, lost to them at home in overtime. They continued another undefeated streak, lost their home final game against Maryland, and then lost to Penn State
They
away.
they had a phenomenal season, obviously, and congratulations to them for making it this far in the tournament and to having another really good showing next season.
And congratulations to Harvard on pulling off the upset, winning their second game in a row, 1-0. Shabo standing on her head. And for all of those at WC Men who've covered so far this season, field hockey, Nina Rhines, Adam Bressler, William Gregory, Nabil Baig, Neil Sinha, Roe Schlagman, Kellen Flynn, Kendall Spencer. My name is Joshua Tenzer. For the last time for Moker Field for this year, I leave you off with a good night and go blue.